Hello, Lead STEM Academy parents. Greetings from the counselor's office. Um, this is Mr. Sears, seventh grade counselor, welcoming you to our final Cast Off with the Counselors for the month of May 2022. It's been a while, but we've got some really important end of year information we want to share with you. So let's get into it. First of all, our contact information is on the screen. Mrs. Sims is our sixth grade counselor. Here's her email address and her phone number with extension. Honestly, email is the best way to get a hold of any one of us. Excuse me. Next up is me. Here's my email address and my phone, my phone extension. And finally, Mrs. Murray, our wonderful eighth grade counselor. Here's her email address and her phone number and extension. All right, what am I going to talk to you about today? I'm going to touch upon magnet applications for next year. I'm going to talk a little bit about registration for next year. I'm going to explain the difference between summer school and summer acceleration. I'm going to bring up some end of year issues that we could really use your help with. I'm going to briefly talk about the process of finding our next principal. And I'm going to finish up by giving you an idea of what the final week of school is going to be. I'll explain the schedule for you. Okay, let's get started. So magnet applications were processed back in March. If you have a child who applied to a magnet school and that child was accepted, you have heard from that school by now. The district communicates with the parents of students who are accepted into magnet schools, and the school themselves communicates. The schools themselves communicate with parents. If your child did not get into the school, let's say your child was put on the wait list, the alternate pool, like my daughter, we're trying to get her into sixth grade here at Lead, and she's in the alternate pool. It's not over for us. We could be contacted as late as fall of next year. How it works is students are selected by lottery. If a student is selected for a school and they decline their seat, that means that seat becomes available for the students that are in the alternate pool. This happens all the way through the summer. As soon as the seat becomes available, it is filled. So we could hear something in the summertime. We could hear something in fall of 2022. So don't give up hope. Okay. Before I get into this, I want to explain that right now, if you have a sixth or seventh grader at Lead STEM Academy, your child is automatically re-enrolled at our school. Once they're ours until they move on to high school. There is no need to reapply to Lead STEM Academy. Okay, they're automatically re-enrolled here. The only change would be if you make one. So if you want your child to go to a different school, they will not. Well, they will be enrolled here, but you can withdraw them and then enroll at the school of your choice. Now, that's different than what I'm about to talk about right now, which is online registration. Online registration is for the district. It's not for specific schools. Okay? CCSD requires all students that are enrolled anywhere in the district to be registered online. Okay? So as a parent, you are responsible for filling out the online registration form, one for every child that you have in CCSD. It takes about, 15 minutes, let's say, to complete it. The link went live 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, before spring break. I think it was right after spring break it went live. So please complete that. It's not for LEAD. I want to say that again. It's for CCSD. And you do one every year for each of your children that are enrolled in CCSD. Okay. There are two types of summer school offered by the school district. I'm going to break them down for you. First of all, we've got the online summer school through Nevada Learning Academy, or NVLA. In this presentation, this link will take you to the flyer for NVLA Summer School. I can't go there right now for you because you won't be able to see it if I click on it while I'm recording this. However, it is in each of our Canvas pages. So NVLA, of course, is online. Students can take classes through NVLA if they'd like to earn original credit, which means they've never taken the class before, so they want to earn the credit for the first time. They can take the class through NVLA, or for making up credits. So a student took a course, not happy with the grade, wants to replace the grade. You can do that online also. Students that are enrolled in NVLA can take more than one class at a time, although it is not recommended that that middle schoolers take more than two. We're talking, it's about 5 hours of individual work time for each class. So if you're taking 3 classes, that's about 15 hours a day. No bueno for our kids in the summer. And they're probably not aware of that. And I don't, that could really hit them hard. So we like to limit it to 2. Most of the work students will complete on their own. Now, my understanding is they are required to meet with their instructor at least once a week. It's up to the instructor how often and what times and when. My experience in the past has been once a week. Now, that could be different now. I don't know. Excuse me. Okay, the second type of summer school is our traditional in-person, what I call in-person summer school. Here's another link to another flyer for you. Now, big difference here. Students can only take middle school courses in person for makeup credit only, which means they took the class, it didn't go so well, they want to make up the class, get a different grade. Okay? Cannot take classes in person for original credit, not at the middle school level. Okay? In-person summer school sessions start at 7:30 in the morning and they end at 1:30 in the afternoon. So students can only take one class at a time. Okay, if you look at the flyer, it explains it better. Students learn traditionally, which means there's a teacher, they're in the classroom, they learn from the teacher, they do work in class and outside of class. And these courses are offered around the valley at 8 different high schools. So if you are interested in this for your child, you can contact your child's counselor because we need to find the nearest high school to you. While I'm on the subject, counselors are the ones that register students for summer school, okay? And it could be as simple as a phone call or an email. Please enroll my child in blah, blah classes. Done and done. Doesn't take us very long at all. Okay, now, my 7th grade parents, buckle in or brace yourselves. I'm about to drop a bomb on you, and I apologize in advance, but please don't shoot the messenger. This was not my decision. Starting next year, 8th graders, according to CCSD, this is not a LEAD thing. This is not a Mr. Sear thing. It's not even a Dr. Filkevich thing. This is a CCSD guideline. 8th graders are going to be required to pass a course called Computer Science and Applications in order to graduate from high school. So it's a high school course that is given at the middle school level. Students can take it in 8th grade, pass it, and then they don't have to take it in high school. This might sound familiar to those of you with older students in the district because there used to be a class called computer literacy. That was given to 6th graders. We didn't have it at LEAD because we have other computers classes, but I know that my son is an 8th grader at Cadwalader. He had computer literacy when he was in 6th grade. So anyway, this class, Computer Science and Applications, is replacing that computer literacy class. And as I mentioned, it is for high school credit. So basically the district said, this class is not appropriate for 6th graders. We must give it to 8th graders. So my students, my group of 7th graders gets to be the guinea pigs. Yay. And you get to be the guinea pig parents. Double yay. So they can take it. They will take it next year. If your child takes the class in high school, it's got a different name. It's called Computer Science and Technology. Same course, same material. I don't know why it's got a different name. That's a district thing. But anyway, yeah, that's the bomb. So now I want to point something out to you. Okay. I went into ELA classes this year and told my 7th graders that if they passed health and PE over the summer, they could have 2 electives. That's the way it's been here at Lead STEM Academy. This was before the bomb was dropped. So traditionally speaking, 7th graders who passed both health and PE were given the opportunity of 2 electives because there was room in the schedule. Well, with our new class, students will be taking a semester of PE and health and then a semester of the computer science and applications class. So in other words, PE and health are going to be reduced to 1 quarter each. Okay, so quarter is what, 4.5 weeks or so. And so a quarter of PE and a quarter of health equals 1 semester. Whereas it used to be a semester of PE and a semester of health. Well, we got to make room in the schedule for this computer science class, which is a full semester. So it's going to be a quarter of PE, quarter of health, and then a whole semester of computer science and applications, or vice versa. Semester of computer science and applications, followed by a quarter 3 of PE and a quarter 4 of health, let's say. So students who pass both health and PE will still need to pass the new computer science and applications course, which means there may not be room in the schedule for the second semester. But hold on. Dr. Filkevich has a compromise because I told him that that's not fair and my parents are going to be upset, and justifiably so. So here's the deal. Students who pass both health and PE over the summer will still be permitted to have 2 electives in their 8th grade schedule. I have possibly in there because I have to make sure the second elective works, because they might want 2 things that I absolutely can't give them. So here's what we've come up with. Here's what Dr. Filkevich has come up with. We're going to have a form for you to sign that acknowledges that you understand that this computer science and applications course needs to be passed before your child graduates high school. So maybe the plan is to take it the summer before 8th grade, or maybe the plan is to take it the summer before 9th grade. I know some high schools are offering it to students over the summer. Northwest comes to mind. I don't believe they offer computer science and technology as a course in their course catalog, but they are offering it over the summer, I believe, online to incoming freshmen. My nephew is one of them. So I can't speak to other schools and whether or not they offer the class. I know at Clark we offered it to the 9th graders. But anyway, if your child passes the health and PE, as has been tradition at Lead, they will be able to get those 2 electives. So we're not changing that. We just have this form that we need you to sign. The form's not ready yet. Dr. Filkevich and I are still working on it. So anyway, that's it. Bad news over. Well, I guess it's a little bit of both, huh? Summer acceleration. Now that's different than summer school. Okay, 2 completely different entities here, 2 completely different programs. Summer acceleration, it's similar to what we did last summer. It runs from May 31st to June 17th. It's 3 weeks. Last year it was 4. This year it's 3 weeks. Everything's free. And basically what it is, it's all day nav time for your kiddos. So they'll pick 4 nav time activities for the day. They'll have a regular schedule. Okay, so if they're here from 8:05 to 3:11, like they are now, and they'll have 4 periods. So they'll have a period in nav time, a period in nav time, then lunch, then a 3rd period in nav time, then a 4th period in nav time. 4 different nav times. Stick with those for the whole week. And then when that week is up, they pick 4 new nav times for the following week. And then when that week is up, 4 new nav times for the last week. None of these classes are for grades. These are all supposed to be fun, enjoyable, relaxing, in some cases, classes. It's not for making up credits. It's not for refreshing your brain. It's to take a break. And attendance is not mandatory. Students do not need to be here every single day. I tell them, come when you can. Okay. So there was a link that was sent to parents by the administration back in March. Dr. Filkevich emailed that out. You click on that link and you can indicate which weeks your child is going to attend summer acceleration. You are welcome to ask us to resend that link. It wasn't sent by us. It was sent by the principal. We can do some digging maybe and find it for you. I do want to say we, the counselors, are not responsible for summer acceleration. That's not our bag. Our bag is summer school. Okay, but we can help you and possibly help get your students signed up. And if you have any questions, feel free to email. Okay. We need your help, parents. It is the end of the year. So misbehavior, I guess you could say, is spiking. It happens every year. But this year is different, as we've been saying all year. So we could really use your help. So we're dealing with littering issues. I mean, we've been dealing with littering all year, but this is where it really ramps up. Disrespect, students not abiding by the dress code, and I'm sure you may hear from teachers about a lack of effort. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's a look at some pics that I've taken of post-lunch cafeteria conditions and one of our courtyard. So as you can see, some students just simply leave everything on the table. A couple of them were nice enough to stack their stuff for us. But anyway, I'm sure you're aware students are expected to just clean up after themselves. We don't ask a lot in the cafeteria. Just, throw your stuff away. But as you can also see, they don't always abide by that. We've been harping on them all year. It's been something that's really concerning to our administration and those of us that are in the cafeteria daily. We could really use your help with that. So could you please talk to your children about taking care of their campus? This is their campus. We want them to take pride in it. Can you reinforce how important it is that they use appropriate language? This is the disrespect part. There's several aspects of this, but I mean, F-bombs all day long, F-bombs, and not just to each other. F-bombs either in front of staff members or directly to staff members. Like, I didn't effing do that. More so than we're comfortable with. So, I mean, they're gonna cuss to each other. There's not much we can do about that, except maybe tell them we don't talk that way. But when they're speaking to us directly, there's no call for that. Dress code. We don't have a strict dress code at LSA. It's the CCSD dress code. So what we're having issues with right now is the females with the belly shirts. And then scoop necks. Okay, I don't want to get into more details than that, but you can probably figure out what I'm talking about. As we get towards the end of the year, more and more kids just decide, I don't need to abide by the dress code. And then finally, if you can just stress that they need to finish strong, especially our 8th graders. We get it. They're pretty much done. They're checked out, but we need them to hang in there for another 2.5 weeks. It's not May 25th yet. So if you could help us out, we really appreciate it. Okay. So now I'm going to talk briefly about our new leadership for next year. So if you're not aware, Dr. Filkevich is moving on. He was selected to be a superintendent up in Oregon, and we're very happy for him, but at the same time, we're sad to see him go. So who's next? Well, CCSD is going to interview qualified applicants, of course. I don't know that they have yet. As of last week, we were told, no, they haven't interviewed anybody because the position had not become available yet. At this point, I don't know what the case is. We do have our school organization team, and they're going to be involved in this process. So if you're a member of the SOT, then you're going to have a say as to who's running the school next year. We, the staff, and our students, we were emailed a survey last week. What are we looking for in a new principal? We get to identify the qualities that we want. We being the student, the staff, and the students. So students got to identify what they're looking for in a new principal too, which is pretty awesome. When is our new principal going to start? That's a good question. We don't have a timeline. But we were told that the goal is for the principal to start at the beginning of next year, and wouldn't that be lovely? I'd like to think that we'll have somebody before then, but these things don't always go the way they're planned. Now, worst case scenario, we do not have a new principal at the start of the 2022-2023 school year. Then we get an interim principal, kind of like a substitute principal, if you will. I got my fingers crossed that we have somebody in that office. So the bottom line is that we all need to stay positive and patient. If our kids hear us complaining or being negative about it, they're going to take on our negative attitudes, and then they're going to start the school year on a down note. We don't want that. We've got a wonderful opportunity to get an awesome new leader here at Lead STEM Academy to replace our current awesome leader. So, that's cause for positivity, I think. Okay. So the final week of school, Monday, May 23rd through Wednesday, May 25th. We don't have finals. You should know that by now. We don't have finals. We have STEM Tank. So the schedule is here. There's a link to it right here. Again, I can't click on it for you, but it is in our Canvas pages. I think it was emailed to parents too. But anyway, Monday, May 23rd is an even day for the kiddos. It's a full day. Okay, we have a full day of classes. So here's how it works. They'll go to 2, 4, 6, and 8 in the morning. Then they will go to lunch and nap time. And after lunch and nap time, it's time for STEM Tank. Okay, the STEM Tank semifinals, I guess you could say. So that's Monday. And then we end the day with STEM Tank. Tuesday, the 24th, is an odd day. Again, full schedule, but it's the opposite. This time it's STEM Tank in the morning and then NAV and lunch. And when NAV and lunch is over, it's 1, 3, 5, and 7 in the afternoon. Shortened classes, I forgot to mention. The classes in the afternoon are going to be shortened, as they will be on Monday too. In the morning, they'll be shortened. So that's Tuesday. The final day of school is a half day. Okay, I don't know how long it's been since we've ended on a half day, but that's where we are this year. We ask that the students don't bring their backpacks on the last day of school. There's no need for them. Okay, school ends at 11:30, so there will be no lunch. No lunch services provided on the 25th. And basically how it's going to work is your kiddos are going to all 8 of their classes. Again, shortened periods to say goodbye to their teachers and say goodbye to their classmates. Excuse me. And they will watch the STEM Tank finals. And the STEM Tank finals are going to take place all day, just like last semester. So that's the end of the school year for us. Okay, couple quick reminders. We want you to be aware of the following. As counselors, we get requests sometimes. Can you make sure my child has such and such a teacher for such a class? We can't do that. There's just way too many students on campus for us to honor that. It's not fair. So if you ask us, can you make sure my son has so-and-so for science? The answer is going to be, I'm sorry, I can't honor that request. Same goes with asking for a specific time of day. My daughter learns math much better in the morning, so I was hoping she could have math in the morning. Well, maybe not. We can't make any promises. The exception would be if your child is a qualifying 504 plan or an individualized education plan, then we have to follow it. But if it's just a request off the cuff, we can't abide by that. We're not administrators, the counselors. We don't really have authority Sometimes I think there's a misunderstanding that we're like pseudo administration. We're not. We don't want to be. So we can't make teachers do anything. Sometimes we go, can you make the teacher blah, blah, blah? We get requests like that. We can't. We honestly can't. We can ask a teacher to do something. We could suggest that a teacher do something. We can advocate for you or your child, but we cannot make a teacher do anything. We are on the level with the teachers. We are not above or below. We're equal. We're colleagues. For next year, please be aware that we're sticking with our kiddos. So next year, I become the 8th grade counselor. Mrs. Sims rotates up to 7th with her current deckhands. And then Mrs. Murray makes the move down to 6th grade with the babies. Schedules for the following year are going to be available on Infinite Campus next school year. Okay. If your child happens to log in Infinite Campus, let's say sometime in August, and sees his or her schedule, fantastic. But my understanding is we're not sending out a notice that says your schedule is ready. They'll get them at the start of the school year. Okay. It has been a year. I think you'll agree. A year unlike any other, which is the same thing I said at the end of 2020, 2021. So maybe sometime soon we'll have a year like every other. Wouldn't that be nice? From all of us in the counseling department, the three of us really appreciate your support. I hope you know that the more involved you are with your child, the easier our job is and the easier the teachers' jobs are. And it just helps keep our school a well-oiled running machine. We can't wait to continue to work with you next year. If your child is a 6th or 7th grader, if your child's an 8th grader, best of luck in high school. Thanks so much for checking out this presentation. We hope you enjoy your summer.